Yeah. Just
Make
natural.
a point to look at the
See, all these years, Dale knows exactly how to do TV now, or video.
And now here's Lee
30
Rosh with the
seconds.
weather.
Right?
That's,
All right, here we go.
I made a mistake. I should have drove up here separately.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. We are on location here. Todd Allbaugh with you from Black River Beach Neighborhood Community Center in La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the banks of the Black River, one of the backwaters to the Mississippi River, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer at the old world headquarters of Civic Media, back in Madison on State Street. Welcome in, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 6th of August, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day!
Look at that. The camel has made it all the way here to La Crosse on the banks of the Black River. Zommers, the wind was very calm as we set up, and about 10 minutes before we came on the air, it's picked up a little bit. How are conditions down in Madison?
Not too bad. It's still hazy or smoky rather, as expected, but hopefully that clears out in the coming days.
Meteorologist Brittany Merlot is saying that hopefully these winds start to clear out some of this smoke for the wildfires out west, and conditions will continue to improve. But weather is absolutely fantastic. In fact, one of our guests, Dale Schultz, commented it's beach weather, but not many people go to the beach anymore. He is a former lifeguard. Little hitherto unknown fact on the beaches of Madison. We'll ask our ongoing friend and contributor here, also the host of Mornings of Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. Patrick, I know you're a captain of a pontoon boat on Lake Wissota. Were you ever a lifeguard?
No. Both my daughters were. They
Really?
at the YMCA pool here in Chippewa Falls. I'm very proud of that. But no, I've got them to rely on in case anything goes awry with the pontoon. And by the way, nothing ever goes awry on the pontoon on Lake Wissota.
No. What do they say? The two best days of a boat owner are when you buy it and when you sell it.
Yes. But you know what? The ones in between ain't so bad either.
Right. No, I've seen it. It's a beautiful setup Pat's got. Busy show. Glad everybody is here today at hour number 2. Brian Van Hooker of Cracked.com going to bring us some lighter side. The old series, the animated series, King of the Hill. Going to be going back and doing a little reminiscing on that. Also a goofy What's First for you in hour 2. Some state news as well. But want to begin today, the reason that we're here, and by the way, our friend Trygve Olsen, Senior Advisor to the Lincoln Project, I talked to him this morning. He's at a beach in Lithuania, so supposedly he's joining us. He may pop in at the bottom of the hour as well. But want to get to why we are here today. Really, really important seminar just wrapping up here on the inside of this beautiful community center in La Crosse, having to do with fusion voting. It was sponsored by Leader Ethics. And here joining me at the table on the banks of the Black River in La Crosse is from the Leader Ethics, Mr. Lee Rosh, who is a former president of Western Technical College, and former Senate Majority Leader Dale Schultz, who is the co-chair of United Wisconsin. Lee, Dale, how the heck are you?
We're great. Thank you.
It's great to have you both here. Of course, Dale's been on the show several times. Lee, you were on the program last summer when we were down in Viroqua at Wonder State Coffee, so great to have you back on. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm delighted to have this chance.
It's our pleasure. Lee, let's start with you. Tell folks a little bit about Leader Ethics, what it is, and what your mission is.
Leader Ethics is a nonpartisan nonprofit organization that is committed to promoting ethical leadership among elected officials. And the 4 cornerstones that we promote actively are: we expect ethical leaders to be truthful, to be transparent with public information, to be a unifier rather than a divider, and to work to the best of their ability to represent their entire constituency. And you know, those are things in business, education, healthcare, those are almost normal expectations. And our question is, why not among political leaders as well.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Dale, again, you've been on the show several times. Of course, your co-chair at United Wisconsin is former Democratic Sheriff of Dane County, Dave Mahoney. He had to get on the road, another engagement, as they say. But tell folks briefly the mission of United Wisconsin, Dale.
Well, United Wisconsin is a group of people who believe that we ought to be able to, as citizens, freely associate with whoever we want during elections, and that we believe that the major political parties have failed in their mission to provide a mechanism so that people can have a voice through them about the issues that are important to them, and that we need to have real solutions advanced on behalf of all of us. So, as a result of our feelings, we have decided that fusion voting, which allows, well, first of all, I should mention that fusion was a part of this country for decades, and it led to the birth of the Republican Party, in fact, many, many years ago in Ripon, Wisconsin. But it's a way of giving people who are left out of the political process agency within that process to be heard, to influence what goes on. And the way we do that is by saying that when you vote, you are basically have the right to vote for a candidate. You don't have to be constrained by a political party. And what fusion allows is for the same person to be a candidate for multiple political parties. And then when the election is over, those votes are tallied jointly to determine the winner. Now, why this works is because in Wisconsin, for example, we have elections decided by, just a couple of points, election after election. If a group of passionate people were to form a party and want to have influence, all they have to do is turn out 5-6%, and they might be in a position to determine who the winner is going to be. And that candidate would be a fool not to listen to them after an election, unless, of course, they only wanted to be there one term. Mm-hmm. And the more people that do this, the more likely the political parties would have reason to be dependent on extreme voices in their ranks, both political parties. Mm-hmm. So those people who are worried about not voting because it doesn't make a difference, throwing away their vote on a third party that they know will never have a chance, or voting for the lesser of two evils, suddenly now have a person they can believe in who can be an agent to help change the other partnership that they have to work on issues they care about.
Pat Kreitlow.
One of the things I like about this is that, a minor party at least finds a way to get a toehold in here. So at first, maybe the Allbaugh party, of which I'm a proud member, would simply endorse, a major party candidate. But as more people see the Allbaugh party is, more in keeping with their line of things, maybe someday when there's a candidate from that party conveniently named Todd Allbaugh, they might be inclined to now support that minor party. Though my question to the guests, I just simply want to repeat what has been noted in the Associated Press and the Wisconsin Public Radio article, where a Republican Party of Wisconsin spokesperson said fusion voting could result in voters being, quote, manipulated into voting for a major party candidate masquerading as an independent. And I want to give your guests a chance to respond to that.
Lee?
Well, any system they can work to, the parties probably will work to try to distort its impact, but the thing that we have to look at, though, is that we're talking about appealing to voters, and the voters are the power behind it. Now, this wasn't involving fusion voting, but it's a good example of how powerful third parties can be. If you remember in the 1990s, at the time George H. Bush was running against President Clinton, that essentially the third party candidate, Ross Perot, was the individual who was pounding away on the message of removing the deficit and reducing the debt. And he showed graphs on the screen, and he really hounded with that. But the thing is, it got 20% of the voters in the presidential election to listen to it. And both of the presidential candidates from the two parties were forced to recognize that it was a legitimate issue that people were concerned about. Well, guess what? Those are 4 years that we had our federal budget was balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the recent budget dialogue and activities going on in Congress, that was not on the radar at all. There's no one pushing for anything other than what the two parties are bringing forward. And that's why I think fusion voting does give that voice that's not being heard today a chance to be heard.
We're talking with Lee Rosh, former president of Western Technical College and now with Leader Ethics here in Wisconsin, leaderethics.us. You can find the seminar today at their website. It was streamed, but can have that there. We'll put the link in our website as well. And also a former Senate Majority Leader of Wisconsin, Republican Dale Schultz, also the co-chair of United Wisconsin with former Democratic Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney. Dale, what to Pat's question there, the current iteration of the MAGA Republican Party, which you were not a part of that, but of your party now, you're saying that basically trying to poo-poo fusion voting. What's your thoughts?
Well, I think that when I was involved in trying to change the whole notion of gerrymandering and bring some sense to that process which occurs every 10 years, the political parties had both participated. They liked having that power. They didn't mind playing the lottery until they lost. We know that engaging people is the best way to move forward. Think about this, and it's a point that occurs to me because we started this program talking about this beautiful setting that we're in, and it being a beach day
on the banks of the Black River here. Yeah.
In the last election, who was the spokesperson for the environment? There wasn't one.
Not strongly. I mean, you can make the argument that former Vice President Kamala Harris certainly talked more about it than Donald Trump, but in the state of Wisconsin, I'm not sure who.
Yeah, I don't know that I have the same feeling you have that Kamala Harris was the best spokesperson or an adequate spokesperson. But imagine the people who care about the environment, and they're everywhere. If they had a chance to be engaged in an effort to have a environmentally based party, they could make the difference in the election by having their votes fused with another party or multiple parties, and they would have agency at the table to drive change. And that's what this is all about.
Pat Kreitlow, as a former Democratic state senator, what Dale's saying there, I mean, you've been in the building more recently, well, as recently basically as Dale and I. Do you think that's possible, what Dale just said, in the current political environment?
In the current political environment, it's a heavy lift. But again, when you see so much dissatisfaction, part of the reason people voted for Trump, not that they loved anything about Trump, but they just said, we're so desperate to fix this system. I hate to put something in place out of desperation, but if it fixes an unworkable system, which other people have broken, well, then I think we might be more inclined to get to that point. Maybe not this year, but soon.
We're coming up about a minute here, Dale. I want to get your thoughts quickly on this, and Lee, when we come back from you. What's happening, right? You brought up redistricting. You were very involved in this with former Senate Majority Leader Tim Cullen and Bob Jalk on the Democratic side. Bob Jalk was on this program a couple of days ago, and he said, regrettably, that he would say that Democrats have to fight fire with fire, and that places like California and Illinois should look at least consider partisan gerrymandering to counter what may happen in Texas. Your thoughts in 1 minute or less?
I think the fact that we're having this discussion is very disheartening, because I think there are a lot of us who believe there is a better way. On the other hand, it's pretty hard to argue with people who point out that if you don't fight fire with fire, you look like a chump, you alienate your voters, and we go backwards. I hope that this discussion about what is a political nuking of the process drives people back to their senses. That's what I can hope for, and that's how I feel about it.
Back from Black River Beach Park here in La Crosse, Wisconsin. We are on location of the Todd Allbaugh Show. Lee Rosh, Dale Schultz, Pat Kreitlow, and will Trigby Olsen beam in from afar. Don't miss it. Come on back after this.
Madison. Real news and great conversation.
You guys are such pros. Look at you.
WMDX. Shot Social Club.
Did Trigby make it? Is he here? I saw him there.
For events, craft cocktails, and non-alcoholic
But we can't see him.
drinks, too. A hidden gem on Madison's
You know,
east
I
side.
did.
Look at this.
Oh, look at Trigby. He's chilled out.
He's in a Lithuanian gulag, it appears here. Is there a single light bulb hanging down?
Kind of.
Greg V, I can't see you. I have only my imagination, which is running rampant right now. About
He
your
looks
current
very, he has a
situation.
hoodie on. He's very chill there.
If you knew the party that was going on out just outside of where I am.
Trig, what? Yeah, he's overseas. Yeah. Chris says hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris from Trigby. All right, so Trigby, we only got Dale and Lee until the bottom of the hour, and Pat as well. So if you want to, I'll introduce you, whatever. But I'm going to give Pat one more. I'm going to follow up a question with Lee, then back to Pat, and then we'll see how much time is left. We'll wrap it up, and then Trigby, you'll stay rest of the show.
Well, yeah.
All right, sounds good.
And then tomorrow I get to do Pat's show.
Really?
Aw,
Really?
Trigby, you gave away the surprise.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to have you pop up in the middle of his segment.
Well, not as many people watch this show as Pat's anyway, so it'll still be a surprise. Although we have to give a shout out to Penny, one of our listeners, was here today.
It's easy
Yes,
for me
that's
to
right.
do Pat's show, and it's in the afternoon.
Right, or evening in your
It's
case.
the only way we could
All
get
right,
him there.
here,
Yep.
here we go.
Evening.
Yep, 30 seconds.
Thank you.
He'd say you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. You've got to be your own man, not a puppet on a string. And never compromise what's right and uphold your family name. Oh, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show. We are live on location just outside of downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin. Not quite on the banks of the old Mississippi River, on the backwaters, which is the Black River, equally as beautiful here. We are at the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center. You can see the beautiful location here if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And, of course, we welcome all of our listeners across the Civic Media Radio Network across the state of Wisconsin. Joining me this hour, Pat Kreitlow, host of Up North News Radio every morning from 6 until 9 across the network. And joining us from, well, let's say a secure, undisclosed location, Trigby Olson, senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, has beamed in. Trigby, we'll get to you in just a bit here, but you look very comfy today.
I'm very comfy.
Good. There's a lag apparently across the ocean there.
Well, it's a long ways across the Atlantic.
Yes, it is. More importantly, our guests here at the table at the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center talking about fusion voting here. We have Lee Rosh, who is the former president of Western Technical College in these days, with Leader Ethics, a great group here, which was the main sponsor of today's fusion voting conference or seminar. Just got over. You can watch the seminar if you missed it at leaderethics.us. Leaderethics.us. And a big shout out to Penny, who is a viewer, listener of our show. She heard us plug this a couple days ago. She said that's how she found out about it. So that was very nice. And we also have former Republican State Senate Majority Leader Dale Schultz of Richland Center, who is the co-chair of United Wisconsin, who is the co-sponsor of today's event. And he is the co-chair with former Democratic Sheriff of Dane County, Dave Mahoney. Lee, I want to go back to you here at the top of this segment. I posed the question to you, or to Dale. I want you to have a kick at it as well. I know you're someone who also believed in, maybe believes in fair maps in Wisconsin. But what do you make of what's happening in Texas? Donald Trump calling on Governor Abbott to to intentionally gerrymander the maps to a 5-seat pickup for Republicans. Now Gavin Newsom saying that he may do the same thing in California, but for the Democrats, now former moderate Republican Arnold Schwarzenegger, who set the example when Dale was still in the state Senate in Wisconsin for having a nonpartisan commission in California saying, I'll be back. He's coming back to fight what Newsom is doing. What are your thoughts on all this?
It's saddening, I got to be honest, because really what's happening is this is a significant step further in the wrong direction, and it makes it harder to try to turn things around down the road. So there's no getting around from that. I think we need to talk about it as a concern. We need to take action to raise those questions among Democrats and Republicans. But you can't be surprised if they do this. But I got to tell you, it's not a good sign, and we can't be silent as citizens. We've got to speak out against it. We just have to.
Yeah, Pat Kreitlow.
Just one more question on the news coverage of this. Lee, it notes that your group, United Wisconsin, is suing the Wisconsin Elections Commission to reinstate the practice. I was not aware that it once was in practice here in Wisconsin. Can you share a little bit about the history of fusion voting here?
Well, I can. Dale mentioned earlier, fusion voting started with our foundation of our nation, and it was used all through the years up to the turn of the 20th century. It was the process that was used in Ripon, Wisconsin, to form the Republican Party. It brought together the Whigs, the Free Soilers, anti-slavery individuals, and they all came together, and that was the foundation of the Republican Party. But it worked on the other side of the aisle as well, because following the Civil War in North Carolina, an African-American slave ran for Congress in 1865, and he won.
Wow.
And he won because he had not only former slaves and other African Americans and Republicans who were supporting that, but also poor white farmers who felt neglected by the whole process. And so in both cases, there was really good success using fusion voting. However, both parties were concerned about the threat that it brought to their party strength. And state by state, they eliminated it with the exception of New York and Connecticut.
Dale, just a couple of minutes left here. Let's pick up what Lee just said. I mean, it worked for you. I know that you've said several times your former Senate district in southwest Wisconsin was a purple swing district, and you often said, look, if I was to be strictly partisan, I couldn't keep getting reelected. Well, let's pick up what Lee just said. We've seen this in Wisconsin individually, but fusion voting kind of puts it out there and available for everyone.
Well, it does, and you know, it's about, again, giving people hope by giving them agency. And how I conducted myself, I believe, gave people hope. They knew that if they came and they talked to me, I would in fact listen, and they saw examples of where in fact at times I would admit I was wrong and change my mind, or I was influenced by some priority they had or something they had to say. I think that's what we expect from the political process, and what fusion voting will do is enhance that by giving people an agency that they haven't had since fusion voting disappeared.
Trigby Olson, I know, is involved with United Wisconsin as well. We could pick up after the bottom of the hour with him. But to Pat's point, there is a lawsuit going on right now on this, correct?
Yes, there is.
Do we know the status of it? Is it before an appeals court or Supreme Court? Where are we at?
Well, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to opine. I'm smart enough to know that. But, you know, it has been filed, and we'll wait for the courts to tell us.
All right, very quickly, Tommy Thompson, the State Fair on TMJ this week, was asked if he's running for governor. He said he hasn't decided yet. One of our viewers yesterday said they thought Dale Schultz would make a great governor. Dale Walter Schultz, are you running for Wisconsin governor in 2026?
Well, let me just say I heartily agree with your listener. But I am not a candidate and don't plan to be a candidate. I think it's
don't
time
plan to be is different than a no.
You know, you got me there, Todd. I just have to be candid and upfront about it.
All right,
but
we'll leave it there.
Time for a new generation.
All right, Pat Kreitlow, mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. Lee Ross from Leader Ethics and Dale Schultz from United Wisconsin. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it. Come on back from La Crosse Live with Trigby after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
All right.
Schultz Kreitlow has a great ring to it.
What?
Schultz Kreitlow has a great ring to it.
Trigby just said Schultz Kreitlow has a great ring to it. or maybe Kreitlow Schultz. We can flip.
No.
Yeah, I've been good with either way.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Would that be another ticket you'd walk
Thank
to Wisconsin
you guys.
for?
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Pat.
I would run to Wisconsin for that.
That's awesome. You guys were great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. A little bit, but. Oh, thank you. Oh, Trigby.
Sorry, I'm late, Todd. I was
right.
interviewing somebody.
You're a big deal.
No, I was. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna change this camera.
This is from John Frank about my remarks. Nicely done. Are you running for governor? You want to ask me?
Sure. You want to come on? I'll run your campaign. Dale, years ago when Klug retired, Chris briefly flirted with running for Congress, and she went up to Tommy Thompson and said, "Governor, I'm thinking of running for Congress. Let's do it." And she said, "But Governor, what would I run as?" And Tommy said, "A Republican, of course."
So I was just telling Todd, John Frank was listening. He said, my closing remarks went over well. The inquiring minds want to know, was that the evidence for launching your campaign for governor?
All right, folks.
All right,
Thank you. Take care. Drive safe.
Any song requests, Trigby?
Nothing but a good time by Poison.
Sounds good.
Now I gotta get Dale one of his lemon ice blah
Todd, I sent you a text. Did you see it?
Oh, hang on. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Up to you. I just don't want us to get yelled at.
Yeah, I hear you. Thanks.
Should I play the Malort promo for people on the stream and for Trigby?
Trigby here, listen to this.
All right, just a second. I got to pull it back up. So, Monday this week, Todd tried Malort for the first time. If you're not familiar, it's a wormwood liqueur that tastes
terrible.
Interesting. Here we made a promo out of the first time he tried it, which was on air.
The Todd Allbaugh Show.
I didn't know what the hell Malort was, so here now, our own Carol, head of traffic, she's brought in Malort down the hatch. Cheers. To Malort. Now, it went down fairly smooth, but the back end is ridiculously terrible. Judas Priest, that's terrible. Once is enough for me. Kind of like my time with women.
The Todd Allbaugh Show, weekdays 2 to 4 on your local civic media radio station.
Oh, God.
True story.
That's good.
All right, coming up on 30 seconds.
All right, thank you. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location from La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the western shores of the state of Wisconsin. We are on the Black River at Black River Beach Neighborhood Center, a great community center here in La Crosse. Behind me, you can see the Black River flowing into, it's kind of the backwaters of the Mississippi River here at La Crosse. Great to have you along with us. We are here covering fusion voting. Many thanks to Lee Roche from Leader Ethics, who is one of the co-sponsors of today's forum here at the Community Center on fusion voting, and also to Dale Schultz, co-chair of United Wisconsin, to Pat Kreitlow, host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9, and now joining us from across the ocean in a secure, undisclosed location, Trygve Olsen, senior advisor to the Lincoln Project, our ongoing contributor and friend, and also is part of United Wisconsin. So we want to continue our discussion of fusion voting here. I thought that was great, Trygve, and to hear two leaders, particularly from Western Wisconsin, like Lee Roche and Dale Schultz, just talk so knowledgeably about that. When you hear it from those two, you think, well, yeah, it has to make sense. But unfortunately, modern-day politics gets in the way.
Well, I agree that modern-day politics can get in the way. I think United Wisconsin has hit on, which is why I'm glad that I've been able to play a small role in helping those guys. They're talking about core issues beyond just on fusion voting, which is, quite frankly, part of the solution. They're talking about issues that people care about. They're talking about public education that are the cornerstone of our community. They're talking about, the Wisconsin idea. They're talking about conservation. They're talking about the things that have always made Wisconsin great, that have somehow become political footballs, and that, quite frankly, I would argue, if you've got all these people thinking about running for governor, you want a blueprint for a winning gubernatorial campaign? It's right there in what United Wisconsin was pushing and backing.
I want to go back to the web. By the way, it's a great website. If you really want to do a deep dive, folks, on fusion voting, go to United Wisconsin. It's all spelled out, not WI, but the full word Wisconsin. So UnitedWisconsin.org, and Zommers, if you'd be so kind, we'll put that link in our show notes as well. But UnitedWisconsin.org. I want to read you just a couple of sentences here, and then Trygve, let's get into this a little bit more. It says, fusion voting was once common everywhere in American elections, including Wisconsin. The historic electoral concept is just as relevant in today's political landscape and could be implemented at both the federal and state levels of government. Here's how it works. Fusion voting permits more than one party to nominate the same candidate, with votes for that candidate first being tallied separately by the party before being fused, quote unquote, together to a final total. A candidate who appears on the ballot as the nominee for one major political party could also be listed as the candidate of a second, potentially more centrist political party, if that second party also nominates them and the candidate accepts their support. Fusion voting allows people to vote for the candidate they favor and do so on the party line that best represents their values. And instead of being spoilers, small parties can play a more constructive role in our politics, giving voters more choices while not asking them to, quote unquote, waste their vote on a candidate that can't win. So let's put that down there where the chickens could get at it a little bit. And Pat did a good job in the first half of this hour, but I just wanted to reset it up and get your thoughts on this, Trygve. As someone who has run statewide and helped run national elections for president. So if I'm getting this correct, as a part of United Wisconsin, so let's just use my former boss for a second. Let's say that Dale Schultz would hypothetically run for governor, and he said, you know what, I've always been a Republican, so I'm gonna run as a Republican, but I know I never get the Republican nomination. So he could run as a Republican, but a centrist party, let's just say United Wisconsin, could say, well, we want Dale Schultz to be our nominee as well. And they could also nominate Dale. He could accept that nomination. So on election day, people that wanted to vote for Dale under the Republican ticket, as they have many years ago, could do that. But people that say, I want nothing to do with modern day Republican MAGA politics, but I will vote for Dale based on his record as a United Wisconsin candidate. And all of the votes for Dale Schultz on both the Republican and the United Wisconsin ballot would count for him. Not double votes, but whoever voted under one party and the other, all those votes would count for Dale. Do I have that right, Trigby?
You have that 100% right. That is exactly how it will work. As Lee was pointing out, the Republican Party is the reason that the Republican Party was launched in Wisconsin was fusion voting. And quite frankly, the irony is the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, after the Republican Party came about, sought to get rid of fusion voting because they understood that it becomes something that allows smaller parties to grow and become a threat. The two-party system in the U.S. has been a duopoly for the last 150 years, and it really hasn't been challenged. And there are so many obstacles to trying to do that.
I think it's a great point because, and you know this as you've traveled around the state, what we hear so often from people in Wisconsin is we're just sick of both parties. We're tired of the fighting. And I think fusion voting is a great way, and I'll use the cliche, to address a problem without throwing the baby out with the bathwater. In other words, you can still have both major parties, and people can still run under those tickets. But there's also this more centrist, hypothetically United Wisconsin Party that could help bring people together. Answer me this, Trigby, as someone who's run elections more than I have. So let's. Does a person that is nominated by a fusion party or a centrist party under fusion voting, does that person automatically get to advance to the general, or do they still have to stand in a primary election?
No, well, I mean, the way fusion voting works is, right, it doesn't really impact primaries. So let's say United Wisconsin, nominates Dale, and ultimately the Republican Party doesn't in the primary, right? Mm-hmm. He would still be a candidate of United Wisconsin. But where it really comes into play, United Wisconsin could say, you know what, we're gonna nominate, we're gonna be a good housekeeping seal of approval on the candidates that are going to stand for the Wisconsin idea, that are going to stand up for public education. That's the cornerstone of our small towns. It's going to stand up for conservation and things like the Mississippi River Partnership, and say, you know what, it's a Republican here, it's a Democrat there, and nominate those, and those candidates could accept that nomination.
So we had one of our listeners, Troy in Mount Horeb, listening on WMDX in Madison, says, Trigby, why is fusion voting better than ranked choice voting?
Well, I would say this, having worked in a lot of places both around the world and across the United States, and this is just me personally, I think ranked choice voting becomes kind of confusing for voters, quite frankly. And, I first encountered ranked choice voting working overseas. And I know they have it in Alaska and some other places. But the reality is fusion voting is pretty straightforward. And it has a tendency, I believe, to empower the center of the electorate far more than ranked choice or open primaries, jungle primaries, and some of the other sort of things. And you're kind of seeing that play out across the country, right? In Alaska, where you have ranked choice, in California, where you have jungle primaries, you're really not getting more gravitational pull towards the center. What fusion voting allows is for a party, and I think that's what Dale and Lee and Dave Mahoney and the others who are driving fusion voting are talking about, is really those things that unite people in the center. And the reality is, if 6% of Wisconsinites said, you know what, we're gonna go with fusion parties, and fusion became the law, United Wisconsin becomes that good housekeeping seal of approval. And in places where you have the Republican and Democrat parties nominating extremist candidates, there's nothing to stop Fusion from nominating somebody who's going to stand for the center.
And theoretically, do you think this could be passed, or not passed, but I guess approved via the court system and ready to go for the 2026 election? Because the scenario that you just laid out there, you know better than anybody else. Boy, I mean, even 3 or 4 percentage points, let alone 5 or 6, that's the governor's race right there.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it would force the parties to pause and think a little bit before they nominate people where both sides are saying, you know what, neither choice is great for me. But it would also give the potential, where I really think that it has the potential to be powerful, is down ballot and state legislative races.
I want to go back to what you just said about giving parties pause before they nominate. Our mutual friend Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist, former Thompson administration official, Tommy Thompson administration official, was on this show. What is it? I've lost track of time. A week or two ago, whenever Evers dropped out, and McCoshen said for our side, quote unquote, meaning the Republican side, that the Trump endorsement in the Wisconsin gubernatorial race is everything. That right. Basically that whoever Trump nominates, that's going to be a Republican nominee, which to me is completely undemocratic, because really they're all, whether it's Tom Tiffany's probably going to get it, and you got Josh Shulman from Washington County Executive, you got Berrien, the so-called business guy, and who else knows who's going to get in. But these folks, they don't really care about Wisconsin voters. All they really care about is Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And here's the thing. I mean, I've said this before, Todd, and I am of the understanding you alluded to this when you were talking to Bill. There's 3 people that I've said so far, maybe there'll be some more, that I would walk back to Wisconsin to help them if they ran for governor, to knock on doors. Bill McCoshen being one of them. Kelda Roy's, those who are listening, she's another one. They couldn't be further apart on a lot of political things, but I'll tell you what. Both of them, along with Ben, who's the third one, Wickler, they stand for things like exactly what United Wisconsin is talking about. They're going to stand up for the University of Wisconsin system because they understand that job creators like Epic are a result of the computer science school at the UW. They understand that the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire is the driver of the essential driver of the economy, and is producing future doctors through their partnership with Mayo Clinic that we learned about when we talked to Jim Schmidt, right? Like, they get that. They get that the public schools are the cornerstones of our small communities. They get that conservation is critical, whether you're somebody who cares about the environment or you're somebody who cares about the environment because you want good places to fish and hunt. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's the key.
We're gonna pick that up more with Trygve Olsen, Senior Advisor of the Lincoln Project, and also of United Wisconsin after this. Come on back, we're live on the banks of the Black River in La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the Civic Media Radio Network. That was good, Trygve. You should run for something.
What am I going to run?
You can run for governor, of course.
Greatest job in the world.
Right?
All you got to do is show up in Manitowoc. Harley's roar, Eagles soar, and the Green Bay Packers score. It's good to see y'all, friends.
Turn up the summer vibes at Blue Vista Resort, your playground for summer dreams, water parks, and sun-soaked pools.
Tommy's looking at Jack and saying, "Did you hear what he said? He said it was the easiest job in the world. He doesn't even know what it means to work."
It's so hard being governor of Wisconsin.
You know, your parents were such good people. I can't believe they swung such an idiot.
Oh my
Imitation,
God.
Governor, is the most sincere form of flattery.
That's right. Oh,
Lordy. I do love the man.
He was
Cared about
complete.
those-
He was
cared
completely in
about
his
this
element on Monday. He had his red Motion W Wisconsin polo shirt on and his blue jeans, and he was shaking hands. He was on TMJ and saying, "I don't know. I haven't made up my mind
Was
up yet."
he with Kristen?
Yeah. Well, no. He was
No,
on
Kristen-
no. He was on the morning news with them. The morning news, not with
Oh.
Kristen and Steve.
Have you ever had? You know about about Kristen
Yeah.
and I talked.
Yeah.
I introduced Kristen to him. Oh my God.
So funny.
Yeah. That was fun.
Oh lordy.
The look on her face when he started in on me was just classic. She said to me when we were walking away, she's like, he really loves you. I'm like, yeah, right.
Now, yeah.
I'm like, it didn't sound like that.
That's funny.
He's so good. Yeah, he was a really good friend of my parents, though.
Right?
They were good to him, too. Yep.
25 seconds.
All right, thank you.
And then what he said to Kristen was hilarious, too.
All right, here we go.
Hearts of fire, streets of stone, modern warriors, satellite horses of chrome, taste the wild.
Blasting out of Trigby Olson's cassette deck in his 1978 Buick as he went through the streets of downtown La Crosse during Oktoberfest. That is the music from the tape deck back in the day. Did you ever drive down from Eau Claire to La Crosse to party, Trigby Olson, as he joins us from across the pond, as they say in Europe?
Yeah, I was at Oktoberfest once.
Do you remember it?
No.
I knew the answer to that.
I remember going. I don't remember much after I got there.
We are live on location.
I remember there were a lot of nursing students from, what's the name of that school?
Viterbo.
Viterbo, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about the last thing I remember.
What? That's it? Yeah. The
Meeting a
nursing
bunch
students.
of nursing students from Viterbo.
Black River Beach, the neighborhood center, is where we are at on the banks of the Black River. That is the backwaters of the Mississippi River here in beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin. We're here covering the Fusion Voting Seminar sponsored by United Wisconsin, of which Trigby Olson is a part, and also Leader Ethics. You can find today's forum, if you missed it, at leaderethics.us. Leaderethics.us. It really was a really great 1 hour seminar. It's a quick watch. You learn a lot. Lee Rosh was there. Dale Schultz was there. Other people as well, and would encourage you to do that. Trigby, you're being joined by your assistant now in overseas, the lovely and talented Ula. She called me, and I thought she was an AI because her UK accent was so good. She's like, "This is Mr. Olson's assistant." Ridiculous.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Todd, Mr. Allbaugh. How are you?
You could say Todd because we're live on the air. All right. Thanks, Ula. Have a great day. All right. Very good.
Yeah, you too. Have a good show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Trigby, I want to get your thoughts on this here before we let you go. Because you, right before the end there, you were really doing, in my opinion, a great job of saying what candidate, anybody wants to win in Wisconsin next year for governor or any other race in Wisconsin, the core issues that people believe in. Our colleague, our friend Jane Matnair on Air this morning, along with Greg Bach on their show, had Joe Zepecki, Democratic strategist. Of course, he ran for the chairmanship of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, lost in a close race to Devin Remacher. But Zepecki said this. He brought this up on Jane's show this morning. And Zepecki said, look, Donald Trump ran on lowering prices and bettering the economy. Neither one of those things are true 6 months in plus to his presidency, and Democrats will be wise to keep focused on those two things and reminding voters in the state that what Donald Trump ran on was a lie and is not coming true, and not getting distracted by what's that woman's name, the Gene woman, Zoe Zingler. What is it, Zommers? Do you remember what it is? It's the hot thing right now. But I don't follow.
She's a hot thing, but I don't remember what her name is.
The topic is a hot thing, but yeah, I guess if you bat for that team, that's also a thing. But it's this young model who says she's a conservative and got into an American Eagle
Sydney
jeans.
Sweeney. That's right.
There, Sydney Sweeney got into this jeans ad, and now the far left is all up in arms over this. Oh my gosh, she's wearing jeans and she has an ad campaign and social influencers on the left. This is real. I showed Zommers this, I think, yesterday, that there's one influencer on the left who is going after this campaign simply because it's blue jeans, and how blue jeans were repressive to blacks in this country. And yes, if you go way back to the indigo and the cotton trade, you could find some interesting and unfortunate history, but to somehow connect that with American Eagle and this campaign, I think that's bonkers, and it's exactly why it's so easy for MAGA and Donald Trump to look at the other side and say, see how crazy these people are? I think Zepecki's right, Trigby.
100% he's right. I mean, the bottom line is, listen, the governor's race, the center of the electorate is sitting there thinking inflation hasn't gotten better. Are there cars going by, or what is that?
Yeah, sorry, I'll trim my motorcycles, those crotch rocket things, they drive me crazy. Go ahead.
The bottom line is the economy is not getting better. The engine that drives the economy in a place like Wisconsin is things like our public education system, the University of Wisconsin system, conservation in the environment, and Main Street business, right? Like, that's what drives the economy, is the workforce is driven by that sense of community and the education. And the bottom line is, the center of the electorate cares about that. They don't really care about the blue jean stuff, and falling into that trap is just a waste of time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I really was appreciating what Zepecki was saying on Matnair on Air this morning. Would encourage everybody to go back and listen to that podcast. Listen to Jane and Greg's entire interview with Joe Zepecki, because I think he's absolutely right.
Todd,
yeah.
Did you see that Derek Van Oudwan and Jim Jordan are having some kind of rally in Wisconsin Rapids?
Oh, for goodness sake. Are you serious?
Yeah, serious. By the way, for people who haven't seen it, there's I don't know if it's the Netflix or HBO or one of those streaming things. If you have kids like Ula's age, you have a gajillion of them. Anyway, there's a really amazing movie about what went on at Ohio State when Jim Jordan was there.
Amazing,
like,
in an unfortunate way.
That and not, in a really bad way. But like, I don't know how you can watch that without being incredibly sympathetic and come away thinking that Jim Jordan is even a remotely good human being.
No, he's a terrible individual, and the fact that Derek Van Orden wants to associate him with him is ridiculous. And on the way up here, and I was driving by Bangor, and there's a digital billboard with Van Orden's picture that says, Van Orden, release all the Epstein files. So there's that.
Well, they should.
Right? Exactly.
100%.
All right, be well over there. Give the family my best.
Wait a minute.
What?
Are we playing this or that?
You want to? Well, come on back. We'll give you a quick answer to that. What's worse is next in hour 2. We're live in La Crosse on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I probably stay through this or that, Todd.
Okay. Well,
hey, did you see Kreitlo's picture on Facebook?
No, what?
A civic media station.
Well, I remember those days from when I was in middle school and see him at TV 13.
Really? Oh yeah, I did see that because there's some challenge, like if you've covered the press and stuff to put that out there.
Oh.
5 other soldiers were hospitalized in the incident, including 2 who are currently being treated at a level 1 trauma center about an hour away in Savannah. Van Johnson, the mayor of that city.
I spoke with the lieutenant colonel upon this happening while he was still locked down.
I'm sorry?
Yep,
and we're doing a radio show.
I spoke with the mayor of Hinesville. I've offered whatever support we can give them. We're all one community.
Officials say the shooting took place at the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area.
This is specifically a combat unit. We should also point out that even within combat units, there are a lot of logistical support companies, units as well that are associated with it.
ABC's Louis Martinez at the Pentagon. This is ABC News.
As Wisconsin is hitting the road on your Harley. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olsen. The couple accused of poisoning and attempting to poison multiple women have pleaded not guilty. Paul Van Doon and Andrea Whitaker are charged in the bizarre plot to stalk, poison, and kill women Van Doon had gone on dates with. The criminal complaint said the two were convinced that the women were Satan. Yesterday, both pleaded not guilty in Dane County Court. They're facing even more charges and big bail amounts in Rock County. In Rock County, Van Doon's cash bond is over $37 million, and Whitaker's is $15 million. And today, the Voting Rights Act turned 60. It ensured equal right to vote for all people, regardless of race. Activists from the League of Women Voters are spending the day at the state capitol. Here's Terry Barr.
The League is highlighting why the Voting Rights Act is a promise and needs to be protected, especially right now. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to hear cases which could change parts of the Voting Rights Act, including fair maps. Here's Wisconsin's League Executive Director, Deborah Crone-Miller.
Our mission is to defend democracy and empower voters to elect your representatives. And those elected representatives...
Todd, would you like to do the teaser now or after?
Oh.
I don't have to immediately vacate the studio, so whichever you'd prefer.
We can try and see if we get something now.
Right, and whenever you're ready.
3, 2, and 1. Hey everybody, as summer winds down, we're still enjoying the outdoors. We'll be joined by Casey Hicks of the Wisconsin Conservation Voters next time to talk about how we preserve Wisconsin's outdoor heritage. Join us.
That'll work. That's good.
All right, thank you.
Allowed states to make it harder for people to vote. I'm Savannah Tomei.
Did you hear the surprise in Dahmer's voice, Trinity? Hey, that was actually good. That works.
It wasn't supposed to be surprise.
Shock. That's what it was, everyone.
Shock and awe?
Yeah. Hang on.
Their 5th win in a row, Pat Murphy.
You really have to be disciplined right now, more than ever before. We got to be disciplined. It's how we play and the mindset we're in when we play, because circumstances say the ball could have bounced the other way, and we're not. Those numbers aren't there. You know, you have to just be consistent in how you prepare and be attached to your process, not your results.
NFL, he's slated to be their starting defensive back to replace Jair Alexander. Nate Hobbs will miss all of the preseason games after having knee surgery over the weekend. It happened last Thursday in practice.
I'm just happy that it wasn't nothing more serious.
What's meniscus?
That was a meniscus.
Like on the right knee, I assume.
Right knee, yes, sir. I'm committed, as I say I am.
As Packers defensive back Nate Hobbs with Sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
As Wisconsin is cheering on Bucky Badger. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny with patchy wildfire smoke starting to thin. Highs today scrape the low 80s, clouds increase. And by tomorrow, warm and muggy, highs in the mid-80s, with showers and thunderstorms sparking up midday. And return humid, temperatures nearing 90. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot, currently 82 degrees.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Frank Anderson, who is the founder of Wisconsinology.com. You were great in the documentary. That's really exciting.
I'm really not as a documentary filmmaker because I get bored so quick. You have to really dig into your subject, and you got to show up every day, sometimes for years.
Yeah.
You want to give a headset to the cicadas?
Yes, I would. There's lots of cicadas here. We'll be talking to the cicadas.
And on the Civic Media app.
The cicadas are in heat here in La Crosse, much like the nursing students from Viterbo.
We're digging into the issues that affect your job, your family, your future. Join me weeknight.
The fire sirens here sound like cats.
I'm not quite sure what this place is that you're at, but it's a little sus.
To be honest, I'm not either.
And what's this thing you got sitting on the desk?
I don't know. Well, here we go.
About 10 seconds.
Thank you.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers on the board back at the world headquarters in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. We are live on location at the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center, right on the shores of the Black River, which are the backwaters to the Mississippi here in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Welcome everyone to hour number 2 of the program. It is Wednesday, the 6th of August, 2025. It's a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day.
There you go. The camel made it in the back of the truck all the way here to beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin, right on the western side of the state. It's a beautiful day here. Perhaps you can hear in the background the cicadas. They're horny. I'm not sure. Is that what it means, Zommers? So. When they're singing so loudly, they're in heat or they're breeding, they're mating?
Yes, that is my understanding. And actually, if you want to attract them, all you got to do is make some clicking noises. Like if you start snapping, they'll just fly and start landing on you. Yeah.
Really? I wish it were that easy. That's all you got to do is click. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can keep the horny cicadas at bay here in hour number 2. Joining us all the way from the European continent, we'll say, and across the pond in a secure, undisclosed location. He is the senior advisor of the Lincoln Project, a River Falls boy, just up the road here in western Wisconsin. And we love to have him along on Wednesdays, Mr. Trygve Olsen. Trygve, did you have a lot of? Do you remember? Like I'm growing up, I don't remember a lot of cicadas in Richland Center. Did you guys have a lot of cicadas in River Falls?
Never until I got to D.C. There's a gajillion of them in Arlington.
Yeah, I didn't really have them in Manitowoc.
They make a
either.
racket.
Really?
Half.
Yeah, they're you can probably hear them over the mic here a little bit, but they're loud. We'll push on here. Glad to be here. We are here covering the Leader Ethics event on fusion voting. If you missed the seminar proper, you can go to leaderethics.us. Leaderethics.us. We thank Lee Roche of Leader Ethics. He's also the former president of the Great Western Technical College here in the western part of the state, La Crosse being the center of it. And also thanks to my former boss, former State Senate Majority Leader Dale Schultz, the co-chair of United Wisconsin, which is also a co-sponsor of today's forum, and also former Democratic Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney, who is also part of the co-chair of United Wisconsin as well. And a special shout out to the wonderful and talented Christine Dininger Andrews. Nobody more talented than Chris Andrews getting it done, helping coordinate all this. She is the executive director of United Wisconsin. And Trygve Olsen is also a part of United Wisconsin as well. Coming up at the bottom of this hour, we'll be joined by Brian Van Hooker of Cracked.com with a retrospective piece on King of the Hill, an animated series from what, the late 90s or I guess maybe 2000s. Did you watch that Trigby King of the Hill ever? Yeah, I saw a couple, 3 episodes. Zombers, were you a fan of King of the Hill?
Yeah, it's very good in my opinion. And
it's not still on though, right?
That's the thing. It wasn't. It ended in I'm 2010-ish.
Okay.
Maybe a little later than that, but now they are making new episodes, which I imagine is why
it's like a reboot.
We're talking about it more now. Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, see, that's why we got the young people like Zombers around. That's fantastic. All right, so Van Hooker is coming up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to get to what's worse in a minute, but Trigby, I know how much you enjoy your adoring public, and so listening in the first hour here was Steve in Milwaukee, listening on WAUK. Steve says, "Hey Trigby, you need to get more progressive. Neoliberalism is killing the middle class." any retort? Any response, Trigby?
No, I'm just gonna let Steve have at me.
All right, Steve can have that one. All right, very good. Before we do what's worse, Trigby, I did want to get to one more.
I keep waiting for Scott and Wauwatosa to write me, but he never does.
Did you? I was disappointed that you didn't pick up on my tweet from over the weekend on that subject. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I don't go on Twitter anymore.
I know. Is it because of Elon, or you just don't like it, or what?
Yeah, I do. I post my Substack stuff on Blue Sky, which is equally challenging. I don't know. I still have my. I just haven't.
He's got other things. He's got other things going on. He's got other fires in the kitchen to put out. Here, I want to ask you about a couple of things on the serious side, or semi-serious. Speaking of your old friend, the former governor. So, former Governor Scott Walker, he's still trying to be relevant out there. And after what's happened down in Texas with Governor Abbott, Republican, genuflecting politically to Donald Trump, Trump asked him, he did say, "I need 5 more Republican House Representative seats out of Texas." So Abbott is trying to bring the legislature back in a special session in Texas and redraw the lines. This is outside of the normal 10-year redraw based on censuses, and wants to help Trump out. So Scott Walker. And, of course, the Democrats, many of them, the legislature in Texas, have fled to Illinois, much like some of the, or all of the Senate Democrats did in the Wisconsin State Senate during Act 10 to temporarily block Scott Walker's atrocious Act 10 bill, in my opinion, which decimated public unions, in particular public education. So Walker tweets out over the weekend, when, I guess actually a couple of days ago, he says, "When 14 Senate Democrats fled Wisconsin to Illinois in an attempt to block our positive reforms, we held on, won, and stayed strong. After our victory, Sean Duffy and his wife gave me an amazing bumper sticker that's a good reminder to hang in there." And he posts the bumper sticker, and it says, "One Walker defeats 14 runners." Ha. So I tweeted back at the governor. I said, "And yet, Governor Scott Walker, when you walked into the closed Senate Republican caucus and unveiled your secret plan," I was in the room, "many GOP senators were not only shocked, but repulsed. Only my former boss, at Dale Schultz 17, had the balls to stand up to you, and in word and vote, correctly predicting, quote, 'What we are about to do here is create 2 school systems, one for the haves and one for the have-nots,' unquote. More importantly, Dale spoke for the overwhelming majority of his district after holding countless public meetings listening to thousands of his constituents in southwest Wisconsin. He also maintained a lot of communication with Senate Dems, trying for a bipartisan compromise. Finally, you, Governor, and Mike Hipsch tricked Dale into coming into your office so Fitz, i.e. Scott Fitzgerald, could call for the vote to split the bill and pass it. The Democrats ultimately bought time to expose your scheme, which brought 100,000 people to the Capitol in protest and eventually led to Governor Evers defeating you. Why? Because, as our mutual friend at Trigby Olson is fond of saying, quote, "Scott never learned the lesson that Governor Tommy Thompson taught me. There's 2 kinds of politicians, those that want to do things and those that want to be. And Scott just wants to be. Nothing's really changed since we went to Badger Boy State together when he was running for president back then," unquote. Ultimately, Scott, you didn't defeat anyone or anything except for your dreams and opportunities of our public schools and your own personal ambitions to actually be someone.
Oh, that's good. I like that, Todd.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
I didn't misrepresent you. I didn't misrepresent you there.
No, you didn't misrepresent me. I mean, honestly, whatever, Scott. You know,
I know. We have an ongoing kind of funny thing with Scott Walker. But the more important point is this redistricting, Trigby. What are your thoughts on this? J.B. Pritzker, the hot commodity on the Dem side right now. Everybody loves J.B. Pritzker, the Democratic governor of Illinois. He was on Stephen Colbert last night on The Late Show. And Colbert had a map of Illinois' congressional maps, and he held it up. And I believe I can dial it up, but I think Illinois has 2 of the top 5 most gerrymandered districts in the country on the Democratic, all in total, but they happen to be on the Democratic side. And instead of Pritzker owning that and being like, hey, look, we have work to do in our state as well, and I'm pledging to do that in Illinois to make fairer maps, and then go on to attack Abbott and Republicans in Texas, he tried to make some joke about it, saying, yeah, in Illinois we just give our maps to kindergartners and they draw it. But what's happening in Texas is so much worse. I think Pritzker is a terrible representative for this issue, Trigby. I think by not acknowledging the Democrats have done partisan gerrymandering as well, makes him unqualified to be the spokesperson on this.
I would agree with that. I mean, I didn't see him what he said when he said it. But at the end of the day, this is just a sad moment for the United States, right? Like, I mean, it's just guys storm beaches at Normandy for us to have a normal process, and then we're a generation that's decided to act like we're some third world banana republic, and that's what Donald Trump is doing. The bottom line is Donald Trump is at 39% approval. Just go out and beat him. I mean, yeah, they're going to try and rig the maps. The bottom line is Donald Trump's going to try and do everything he can to not hand over power to a Democrat Congress. The easiest way to beat him is to go out person by person and talk about things like the economy. Is inflation better now? You've got the hardcore megas who will tell you everything's perfect since Donald Trump came into office and inflation is gone, but most people are feeling the bite of it. Go out and just swamp them.
There you go. Trivia Olson, Senior Advisor to Lincoln Project. All right, it is 15 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go, Zommers.
Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. No prize money giveaway, no lovely prizes involved. Simply your chance to have your voice heard across all 10 news talk sports stations in the Civic Media Radio Network across the state of Wisconsin. We are here in La Crosse at the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center. I'm feeling hungry, Trigby, after the show here. I never eat a big lunch, so I eat after the show. And so today's category, timely indeed, as Mike Lucas is fond of saying. All right, here we go. Today's category. What's worse, restaurants that don't have waffle fries or restaurants that only have waffle fries? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Try it one more time. 855-752-4842. 4842. You can also text us on the Civic Media app. If you don't have it, go to your Apple or Android device and put in Civic, C-I-V-I-C Media. It'll pop up. It takes less than a minute to download. It is free. It's what Gail King at CBS calls a deal, the Civic Media app. All right, Trigby, restaurants that don't have waffle fries or restaurants that only have waffle fries. What's worse?
Only have waffle fries. They're the kind of places that have hamburgers with fried eggs on them.
You don't enjoy a hamburger with a fried egg?
I don't eat eggs.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot.
And waffle fries, yeah, that's what waffle fries say to me. Kind of place that would put an egg on their hamburger. I'm a simple man, Todd.
I know you are.
French fries to look like French fries.
But you're not a freedom fry kind of guy.
No, I'm fine calling them French fries.
Good. good. What's worse, restaurants that don't have waffle fries or restaurants that only have waffle fries? 855-752-4842 or text us on the Civic Media app. We'll come back, answer those important questions and more. We are live on location in La Crosse at Black River Beach Neighborhood Center on the Civic Media Radio Network.
All right, Mr. Todd, I got to get back to my party.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time for us. Here, what you don't know is that there is a homeless, unhomed, unsheltered area here very close to us, which is, that's fine. There is a woman that was taking a shower about 10 feet from us as we were coming on the air, and her top kept coming off. And I told Summers, I'm like, if she walks in the shot during the show, we'll just got to keep going. But apparently she's gone
go
somewhere.
viral.
She did walk through the shot and remained clothed.
Oh, good. All right, good. So there you go. All right, have fun.
Well, be
Thanks,
careful.
Trinity. All right, bye-bye.
See ya, Todd. Bye.
Bye.
Summers, see ya.
Adios.
We help home users and businesses keep their computers and networks running smoothly. For solutions to your computer problems, call the pros at 231-8000, and we'll turn this into this. Madison Computer Works. Computers that work for you.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard.
Also, I don't know what happened again. I tell you that I think I told you, Summers, my monitor is not working today. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
you
happened.
mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's our battery, my batteries, and my remote, or what. But oh well, first world problems for Todd.
Sometime when you are able to unpack some stuff here again, we'll have to monkey with it.
That is the key right there. When I have time, eventually. When I'm dead. I do really appreciate the graphics today. Well done.
I think the graphic is a little biased because it makes the waffle fries look a lot better.
Yeah, the lighting is better in the waffle fries. I'll say that. The lighting is better.
Yes. Although the other one does still look
The
good.
lighting on both of the fries right now is better than the lighting on me. I'll say that.
Definitely. All right, we got about 20 seconds.
It's not the lighting, folks. I got to upgrade the camera. That's the problem.
15 seconds.
All right, thank you. Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're live on location in La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the banks of the Black River at Black River Beach Neighborhood Center, right in the midst of cicada mating season. You can hear. Is it coming through the mic, Zommers?
Most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sorry. I apologize. Of all that you think when you go on the road, you think, well, you got to have electricity, and we travel with a battery pack as well as we have electricity here at this neighborhood center, and then you got to have open sky for the satellite, and we got that. In my things to check off now, I'm going to have to add: is it cicada mating season where we're going?
I mean, there's not much you can do about that, and it's not. Yeah.
It's
just mildly annoying is all.
We're surrounded by horny cicadas. What can we say? All right, what's worse? Restaurants that don't have waffle fries or restaurants that only have waffle fries? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. And you can text us on the Civic Media app. Robert in McFarland, listening on WMDX, says, I can't remember the last time I was offered waffle fries. I was fairly recently. Somewhere, maybe when Jane and Greg and I did our road trip, one of the restaurants had that as an option. What else do we have here? Linda, listening in Middleton on WMDX, says, only having waffle fries is worse. I prefer chips no fries. Now, Zombers, if you had that, when you go in, and I'm not talking like, Frito-Lay or whatever. I'm talking when you go in and the place makes their own chips.
Yeah, when they have like their own kettle chips, those are very good.
Yeah. Those are fantastic. Agreed. Megan in Sun Prairie, listening on WMDX, says, good fries are not defined by their cut, but a sad fry is usually an indicator of a bad restaurant. Oh, okay. Very good. Matt, listening in Richland Center, one of our great UPS drivers there, says that only waffle fries is worse. Any fries are overrated and only ordered by people who still eat ketchup. Grown up and order the cheese curds. Grow up and order the cheese curds. Now, Matt, you know how much I appreciate your listenership. I respectfully disagree. Some of the best fries that I've ever had and continue to have, if you're in Madison, Matt, go to Dottie's Dumpling Dowry on campus.
I've not been there.
You've been there for Summers or no?
I have not.
Oh, geez, we got to go there for lunch. Dottie's Dumpling Dowry on Francis Street on campus. Order yourself a burger and the fries. They're hand cut fries made from fresh taters, spuds, right there. They're fantastic. And also look, I'm not going to get any argument from me. I love a good cheese curd, but I don't think that every fry is terrible.
Yeah, they're different things, and I love potatoes, and fries are potatoes, believe it or not. So I love them as well. And you don't necessarily need ketchup for fries to be good. You can either do different sauces, or depending on how they're seasoned, you might not need any.
But also, I'm just going to say it, I'm a brand kind of guy when it comes to ketchup. I want the Heinz. I want the Heinz ketchup. I don't want a Surefine or anything like that. Because there's a difference. There's a difference. What's worse? Restaurants that don't have waffle fries and restaurants that only have waffle fries. 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Robert in McFarland, listening on MDX, says the Parthenon on State Street has the best fries of all time. I haven't had those in years, but I remember them being...
They're the beer battered fries. I don't know if they're beer battered, but where they're extra crispy, they're very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kurt back in Madison on MDX says good fries should have malt vinegar, not ketchup. I love a good malt vinegar as well. I'm an equal opportunity fry kind of guy. What's worse, Zommers, restaurants that don't have fries, waffle fries, or ones that only have waffle fries?
I think with what you said about being an equal opportunity fry kind of guy, I think I'll say this with the caveat that I love waffle fries, and I think that the texture of them and the way they can break open and have more, like the potato is more apparent, and I'm here for potatoes. I love that. But if they only have waffle fries, what about sweet potato fries? Those are amazing.
Well, good sweet potato fries okay as well. I'm going to go because I do like variety. Tom Raisbeck, one of our old workers in the Schultz office, Raisbeck always used to say, Todd, life is all about options. So I'm going to say restaurants that only have waffle fries is worse.
And it looks like we have Ted and Appleton on the line.
All right, Ted in Appleton. Ted, thanks for calling in. Quickly, restaurants that don't have waffle fries or restaurants that only have waffle fries, what's worse?
Does it have to be restaurants? Could it be a certain red and white convenience store that used to have waffle fries and they don't make fries anymore?
Really? I didn't know that. They discontinued them?
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Did you ask?
Nobody can give me an answer for the store.
So here's
I don't know Don Zetlow personally, so
well, we're in La Crosse. We're a hop, skip, and a jump from their headquarters, right? We should go over. And here's the thing.
You're talking to them, tell them to bring back
the waffle fries.
Poppers.
The jalapeno poppers and the waffle fries at Quick Trip. All right, we can ask. Here's the thing. My advice, Ted, next time you go to a Quick Trip and you fill up, and I love a good Quick Trip, when you go in and they say, see you next time, look at them and say, not until you get the waffle fries back.
Well, my local one knows me all too well. So,
All right, thanks, Tanner. Appreciate your listenership. Keep her between the lines there. Have a great afternoon. Thank you very much. All right, very good. Great edition of What's Worse. So we'll be back with another one tomorrow at the old headquarters in Madison. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Brian Van Hooker with a look at the reboot and the past from King of the Hill. Come on back. It's the Allbaugh Show on location in La Crosse on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Madison, real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX. As Wisconsin has a fish fry on a Friday night.
Brian Van Hooker.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, we're here on the banks of the Black River, La Crosse, Wisconsin, surrounded by horny cicadas. That's how I am.
Sounds like a dream.
Well, you know. You know what the song says? If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. Da 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 da. So yeah, I gotta love cicadas.
Well, thanks again for having me. I want to apologize one more time for being no-show last time. I felt.
Oh my gosh! Don't worry about it. Life happens. Too short to get to.
I wish I had a good excuse. It was just like, the next day I was like, oh my god. Really?
Don't worry.
Like, nothing.
You're all good. You're here now. That's what counts.
Yeah.
All right. So we're so Zommers has got music for this or
I have the clips that you talk about in the articles. Some of them are longer than others, as you know. So I have them forwarded to the point where Dale actually starts talking about what's going on, or where Hank actually is saying, what the point is.
Sure.
So, yeah, whichever ones you want audio for, we have it.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. Wonderful. We're going to get a little water. I'll be right back.
On YouTube, Cam and Appleton wants your arcade systems.
I didn't realize I was on camera. Great.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Good to know.
Yes, we are on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter in between. And then in 2.5 minutes, we'll be back on the radio.
2.5 minutes. How about that?
All Ninja Turtle stuff behind me.
Oh, look at that. Fantastic. I'll kind of let you just, we'll chat just a little bit, then we'll get into the articles, chat about the show. I wasn't like, I wouldn't call myself an avid viewer. I've seen maybe, I don't know, maybe a dozen full episodes and then another dozen partial episodes. But so, I mean, I tangentially know the show, but I'll let you kind of describe it and set it up. And then I didn't know this, so I saw the article, and Zommers and I were talking about it, that it's being rebooted. So we'll talk about the relevancy of that. And then I'll kind of let you kind of go through the articles and set up whatever clips you want to use.
Cool. Sounds great.
Awesome.
Wildfire smoke starting to thin. Highs today scrape the low 80s. Clouds increase. And by tomorrow, warm and muggy. Highs in the mid-80s. Showers and thunderstorms sparking up midday. Then, turn hot and humid. Temperatures nearing 90. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Currently, it's 83 degrees.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Actor Neil McDonough. If you saw his face, or if you Google him right now, you'll recognize him. He refuses to kiss another woman on camera. On the one hand, I applaud him for not kissing anyone other than his wife, but she says I don't have a problem with him. He wanted to kiss another woman. As someone who's done it, it doesn't really feel like cheating because there's people in the room. It's very mechanical.
You did write it yourself.
I did write it myself.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. The John and Gordy Show.
Water beer. All right. Hey, Pat, I still can't understand knuckleheads that go in and buy this stuff because it's cheap.
You really hear the cicadas.
Really?
Yeah, they're very loud.
I'm sorry.
All right,
There's
about
nothing I
30
can do.
seconds.
This is driving me audio nuts. Like,
You know, it's one of those days, Brian. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location here in beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the banks of the Black River, the backwaters to the Mississippi River. We are at the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center. We were here in the first hour covering the Fusion Voting Seminar. Many thanks to the hosts who put this on today. Leader Ethics here in Wisconsin, led by Lee Rosh, and also the United Wisconsin folks, co-chairs Dale Schultz and Dave Mahoney. Many thanks to them as well. And to Trygve Olsen. Time to lighten things up just a little bit here. And many apologies. It's only gotten worse, Sommers, as the show has gone on. The cicadas in the background. I'm not sure if they enjoy some afternoon delight, if that's the height of the mating period for cicadas. But it's gotten louder as the show has gone on. Have you been able to hear that?
Yeah, when we first connected, I wasn't hearing it. And then just slowly, every segment, it's getting louder.
I'm fearful that at any moment I'm going to turn around, there's going to be a cicada right behind me looking to, well, anyway. Moving on, time once again to bring back one of our favorite people from the great folks at Cracked.com, joining us via StreamYard, one of the great reporters and writers there, Brian Van Hooker. Mr. Van Hooker, how the heck are you?
it's so hard to hear you, Todd, over the cicadas. It's nice to talk to you, too. I assume that's what you're asking.
Yes. I said you can plan for a lot of things, electricity, satellite coverage, Wi-Fi, cover, so you don't get rained on, whatever. But I never considered, wow, I should see when the cicada mating
hard to cover
is.
for biblical plagues. That's really
right.
Those are hard.
But these are the times we live in. Remind folks, it's been a while since you've been on the show. Glad to have you back. Remind folks where you're at and how you got into writing for Cracked.com, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, I'm the senior features writer at Cracked.com. I've been there for a few years now, 2 or 3 maybe. I used to write for a place called Mel Magazine, and when they shut down, I had done a piece about the Onion, their 9/11 issue, and I knew some people who connected me over at Cracked, and it kind of just worked out, and I've been there ever since. And I do lots of pop culture reporting, lots of some listy stuff, things like that. But also lots of interviews, things like that. Like we had a big thing for King of the Hill. Right now as the return of the show. So I talked to the showrunner and a few of the stars and the writer. So it was really those are the kinds of things I do there. Lots of interviews.
So great segue here into King of the Hill. This is an animated series. Was it on Fox, right?
It was on Fox back in the day. Now it's on Hulu.
Oh, now it's on Hulu. So I in full disclosure, I saw maybe, I don't know, a dozen-ish full episodes, another dozen-ish partial episodes. So I'm familiar, but for people that might not remember the show, fill people in, the premise of King of the Hill, when it ran originally, and what's bringing it back.
Well, I mean, the premise is kind of there's not a huge premise to the show. It's about this guy, Hank Hill, who lives in Texas, a fictional town in Texas called Arlen. And it's just about him and his friends and his family, and this very kind of low concept show that basically could have been live action had they wanted to, but it ended up being an animated show, and it's from Mike Judge, who did Beavis and Butthead and Office Space. It was just a great show that lasted 14 seasons. It went away in say 2013-ish, maybe give or take, and had been gone since. And after years and years of talking about a reboot, maybe I think like 8 years when we first heard about a potential reboot, it came back and it was great. I'm somebody who's kind of not always for these reboots and sequels and everything, just because I feel like I don't need endless amounts of the same thing. But I can tell you, for fans of the original, I'd be very surprised if they weren't happy with the new one, because it's great. It's really strong.
So is it and keep me honest here, because I don't want to bring politics too much into this, but the title character here, the main character, the patriarch of King of the Hill, he seems like he could have been kind of a borderline MAGA guy, kind of an outdoors macho dude, but also slightly self-aware enough to doubt himself as well. Is that an overreach?
I mean, I would say they specifically don't get directly into his politics in the show. It's clear, at least, especially in the old version, that he is definitely a Republican. But if I were to have to categorize him anywhere where he is now, it's much more common sense, much more maybe like a never Trumper kind of thing. It's hard to say exactly. They specifically kind of avoid that, but not in a way that feels forced. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely a kind of maybe more right than left, but also, or at least what that used to be, not so much what it is now.
Yeah.
Also, very much like common sense, do the right thing, don't be mean to people. So in a way that was like very common sense back then, feels a little bit more partisan now, which seems strange.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is strange. We're talking with Brian Van Hooker, senior features writer at Cracked.com, about his articles here. All right, Van Hooker, let's get into the first one here. Hank Hill's best grilling-related burns on King of the Hill.
Well, I mean, Hank Hill is a character who is like his job is, or at least back in the original take, he's retired in the new version. He was a seller of propane and propane accessories. He was very fervently in favor of propane and no other source of heat for grilling. So this one article I did was just a collection of him throwing shade at other sources of cooking. I mean, a big one is charcoal. There's an episode of the show where his family members secretly get hooked on charcoal and start like eating char grilled meats behind his back, and he's very upset about it. He feels betrayed.
All right, here we go.
You brought charcoal into our house.
I didn't know what it was. Luann asked me to hold it for her. I thought it was drugs.
There's soot under my boy's nails. You don't get that from a clean-burning fuel.
You don't get the rich, smoky flavor either.
Shut your mouth. Now, we're going to sit here and pray.
Hank Hill from King of the Hill here on charcoal. Now, this is funny to me in particular because last night I had to go down to beautiful Monroe, Wisconsin, and friends of mine went together and we bought a quarter steer and a quarter hog, and we had to go to Hosley Meats and pick up the meat, and then we took it to Kurt and Florissey's big freezer, and Kurt said, let's grill a fresh burger, and he has a gas grill, but he's back into charcoal. And he has a tank of propane and like a flamethrower. I guess he used it on weeds, and he fired that son of a gun up and just, and the thing was on fire and ready to go in like 3 minutes. It was crazy,
oh, wow.
and I hadn't had a charcoal burger in years. And to the point of the character there, it does taste better.
I gotta say, I really like. I'm fine with both. But, I mean, I do really love a good charcoal burger. Like something that's just a little bit burnt. I really do love that. That flavor's great. Yeah.
All right, next item here. Looking
I was
at.
going to skip ahead to the.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There was a great episode of the show that also featured George Foreman, the late George Foreman,
Yes.
where he had a guest appearance in the show where Hank kind of was polite, but also made clear that he didn't take George Foreman's grills all that seriously. So that was another one where he kind of pokes fun at George Foreman's grill. Anyway, I'll let you guys play the clip.
All right, here's King of the Hill on the George Foreman grill.
How'd you feel about carrying my grill in your shop?
Oh, sorry, we have a strict policy about that. No novelty grills.
Novelty grill?
Yeah, you know, no offense, but your grill is kind of like an iron.
You're calling my grill an iron? I've been hit below the belt before, but nothing like this.
I think it's a great product for dieters or little girls who want to play barbecue, but you can't compare it to a propane-powered grill.
Fights on!
What? No.
I said fights on. What's the matter? Smelling all that propane cause you brain damage? That's what it does, you know.
No, that is not accurate. Those studies were all done on sick monkeys. And at least my grill isn't sold in housewares.
Hank Hill. And was that actually the late great George Foreman doing
That
his
was
own
him.
vocal?
You gotta give him some love for like being so willing to poke fun of himself, because that was definitely him.
Well, and that was the thing about George Foreman is, I mean, he used to go on Letterman all the time, and he was a salesman. It didn't matter whether it was self-deprecating. Hey, if it meant selling more of his product, he'd do it, right?
Oh yeah, he was a character for sure. He was very good spirited in that one for sure.
Yeah,
there was also an episode where he pokes fun at Mesquite with his neighbor. I'll just leave that one to Hank, but that one's very funny.
Okay. All right, very good. Here's Hank Hill on mesquite grilling.
Howdy, Con.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Here you go. I thought you might enjoy 7.5 gallons of pure premium propane.
Are you kidding? No, I cook with mesquite. Give meat a nice taste of wood.
And I cook with propane. Gives meat nice taste of meat.
Hank Hill, very opinionated on his grilling there.
Yeah, and then there's another example of this, and this is something I sincerely agree with, on whether or not it's okay to have a burger well done, or a steak well done for that matter. So this was Hank's take on that, which of course, obviously, it's not okay. Like you're ruining it. So
here we go.
Anyway.
Hank Hill on burgers. Here we are.
Firm, but with a little give. Yep, these are medium rare.
What if somebody wants theirs well done?
We ask them politely yet firmly to leave.
That's really funny. I'm somebody who does not like my meat well done, nor my burgers. But anyway, I like a medium rare. That's a good way to, because then you can taste the flavor of the meat. Otherwise, it's
medium
just
rare everything pretty much.
Yeah, I'm totally well. Chicken, no. You want to make sure you don't want pink in the middle of your chicken.
Yeah. My bacon I prefer well done as well.
Right, exactly. What else we got? Any more on this particular story, Brian Van Hooker?
No. If you want to know more about, Hank. That's sort of him in a nutshell. Is his love for propane is his it's a running joke throughout the series, but it's very sincere with the character. His love for propane.
Right, and who doesn't? And it is much cleaner and easier to do. You just fire up the old propane grill, and you're set to go. Brian Van Hooker of Cracked.com, senior feature writer there at Cracked. I'm going to come back here in a minute and talk about the other article, Brian. 4 times King of the Hill's Dale Gribble was mostly right about a conspiracy theory. Now, is this from the original show, or is this something new in the new show?
The original show, yeah.
Oh, from the original show. All right, that's fine. I guess a couple minutes yet, Zomer? Should we start this?
We have a minute.
Have a minute. All right. Well, we'll see. Well, let's save it, Brian Van Hooker, because we want to tease forward. That's what they tell me. They want more teasing forward. So I'm not sure if I need to unbutton my top button and look into
on a 30-year-old show.
Look into the camera and say, "We're teasing you for Hank Hill.
Sure.
Come on back. It's cicada." By the way, the cicadas have suddenly gone quiet. I'm not sure if this is like their afterglow time or what.
They're responding to your teasing?
Yes. Once I start teasing, the cicadas shut up. Come on back. We'll wrap up the show with Brian Van Hooker live from Black River Beach Neighborhood Center on the banks of the Black River in La Crosse, Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. Sorry, I got my timing off a little bit there. When I'm looking at a different clock when I'm on the road. I'm like, oh, jeez. But they've suddenly gone quiet.
I think it's much. I can't hear it now.
Right? It's just gone.
Now there's just the wind.
Now there's the wind.
Sure.
It's always something.
I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be live on location with cicada sex in our next episode.
What's the why are you where you are?
Well, we were covering this forum on fusion voting up here today, and it's at this community center, and it's a very long story, but suffice it to say, there was I talked to a very nice person yesterday, and she's like, it'll be $60 to rent out this room next to where the seminar is going to be. And I said, okay, great, I'll pick up the $60, not a problem. And today I get up here, and the new woman did not have the original woman's notes, and she be $200. I said, I'm not paying $200. I said, how much is it to sit out to use the pavilion? And she said, no, that's $100. and now I'm like, well, I got to do my show, so I guess $100 is better than $200. So I'll do it outside with the damn cicadas. So
Jeez.
That's how we got outside.
That's quite the jump. Yeah.
Yeah, 200 versus 60. That's a very big difference.
Yeah.
It was like out of a Carol Burnett skit. I mean, this woman was like very, and she's like, well, now let's see here. You said your name was Todd, T-O-D-D. And I'm like, oh my God. I got to get set up, lady.
What's fusion voting? I don't know what that is.
The quick version is it used to be legal in Wisconsin, so somebody can run either as a Democrat or Republican or whatever, and then a third party, a more centrist party, hopefully, can also say we endorse that person as well. So Brian Van Hooker is running as a Democrat, but we as the Wisconsin Forward Party, we're going to endorse and nominate Brian Van Hooker as well. So you go to the polls, and your name appears under both parties on the same ballot. So
yeah,
people that might,
okay.
So people will say, look, I really don't want to vote for a Democrat, but Van Hooker, he's okay, and I agree with this issue, so I'll vote for him under the Wisconsin Forward Party. And then all of the votes under both tickets or under both parties go to you that way. So it's supposed to help to bring more centrist voices and more power to third parties without being spoilers. That's the intent.
7 seconds.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're live on location in beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the banks of the Black River, the backwaters of the Old Miss, as Chevy Chase called it in Vacation. The Old Miss. Rusty, look at that. The Black River Beach Neighborhood Center here in beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin. Many thanks to them for their hospitality. And also many thanks to Pat Kreitlow for being on the show today. Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9 on Mornings with Trygve Olsen. No, it's Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, as it turns out. Trygve Olsen, though, Senior Advisor to the Lincoln Project. Many thanks for him as well. Lee Rosh from Leader Ethics, one of the hosts for today's Fusion Voting Seminar. Also former president of the Western Wisconsin Technical College. Dale Schultz, former Republican Senate Majority Leader, co-chair of United Wisconsin, also a part of today's forum. And, of course, the aforementioned, the wonderful, the talented Mr. Brian Van Hooker, senior features writer for Cracked.com. Coming up at the top of the hour, CBS or ABC News, depending upon which station you're listening to. Weather update, a check of sports with the great sports reporter Mike Clemens, and then another edition of the Maggie Dawn Show every afternoon from 2 until 4, followed by Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. All right, Brian Van Hooker, talking King of the Hill, the series, highly acclaimed animated series, very successful back in the 2000s, back for another run, this time on Hulu. But back to the original series, you have this article entitled 4 Times King of the Hill's Dale Gribble was mostly right about a conspiracy theory. As they say, do tell, Brian Van Hooker.
So back, the character of Dale is a kind of crazy conspiracy theory guy. In the new show, they kind of took a little time to figure him out because he's basically like, the culture from where the show was started in the late 90s and early 2000s, the culture's become much more conspiracy theory oriented. So they kind of toned down Dale a little bit by necessity because you couldn't have him, storming the Capitol or anything. So they really kind of, but if you look back, in preparation for the show's re-release, we did a lot of looking back at the classic series, and I did some research on some of Dale's biggest conspiracy theories. I want to mention too, a King of the Hill podcast helped me with this one. There was this guy's podcast called Allbaugh, a King of the Hill podcast that does interviews and a whole bunch of other stuff. Good guys, and I did some research on Dale's crazy conspiracy theories and which ones kind of ended up being true, if only by virtue of technology having advanced and us becoming more and more monitored. So anyway, here's one. It's about weather control. This is one of Dale's conspiracy theories.
All right, here we are.
Hey, I know what's wrong with your truck. It's your quote-unquote pollution controls. I heard on talk radio you don't even need them. They're just an egghead government plot.
How is cutting down on pollution a government plot, Dale?
Open up your eyes, man. They're trying to control global warming. Get it? Global.
So what?
That's code for UN commissars telling Americans what temperature it's going to be in our outdoors. I say let the world warm up. See what Boutros golly thinks about that. We'll grow oranges in Alaska.
Dale, you giblet head. We live in Texas. It's already 110 in the summer, and if it gets 1 degree hotter, I'm going to kick your ass.
From King of the Hill. Listening to that, I mean, it's funny, but also it's funny because much like a lot of people that write comedy, satire, or whatever, I mean, now that just seems like a conversation at the coffee shop.
Yeah, it's basically, it's a little antiquated in the idea that this would just be purely for humor and not just the normal way people talk. Although, to be honest, as crazy as it sounds, because weather control seems nuts to me, I mean, there was that story not that long ago saying that there was this company, oh God, I forget the name of it. Politico reported out that there was this company in California that was like going to test this cloud creation thing, which again seems science fiction crazy to me, but apparently there's real efforts to create clouds.
I think there's what is it called? Seed clouding or cloud seeding or
yeah, it sounds
nuts
to me. I don't understand it. Like I think it still sounds like something Dale would say to me.
Right, exactly. All right, Brian Van Hooker from Crack.com. Next clip here.
I'm assuming this is going to be the last one because of our time. So
the last one. Yeah.
I was going to skip ahead to one called The Beast because this basically describes our entire existence now. But back in '97 or whenever this aired, it seemed ridiculous. So anyway.
All right, here's The Beast clip from King of the Hill.
Well, I'm not going to let my credit and good name be done in by a damn computer error.
Computers don't make errors. What they do on purpose. By now, your name and particulars have been fed into every laptop, desktop, mainframe, and supermarket scanner that collectively make up the global information conspiracy, otherwise known as the Beast.
Dale, I'm having a problem with one videotape, not some kind of high-tech boogeyman.
You just be careful. Computers have already beaten the communists at chess. Next thing you know, they'll be beating humans.
Again, Brian Van Hooker, that could be a conversation at your local rally.
But still, I mean, it's pretty much common knowledge at this point that we're being monitored at all times via the internet, from our Alexas and everything else. So
are you on TikTok?
No. Thankfully, I've avoided that one.
Yeah, see that I have been up until about 2 weeks ago, and they said no, you got to get on TikTok. So now I'm on TikTok, and now I feel like the person that helped me set it up. I said, well, now the Chinese are going to know everything about me, and he looked at me and said, they already do.
Sure. But now they get to see Todd's TikTok dances, so that's better.
there ain't much there, I can tell you that. What's always there is great writing, great insight. You can find it at Crack.com. Look for Brian Van Hooker's work there. He is the senior features writer at Crack.com. Brian Van Hooker, thank you very much. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Always a pleasure. All right, everybody. Great show today. We appreciate the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center for being our host today, and Fusion Voting, also United Wisconsin and Leader Ethics. Many thanks to Chris Andrews for helping set it up as well. Stay tuned. Maggie Dawn is next. Whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. We'll be back at the World Headquarters in Madison tomorrow. Stay safe, everybody. See you then. And what about the cicadas?
Banging on your drum, and they will hear you.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you, Brian. Great job.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime. All right, have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Mm-hmm.